the people themselves are going insane.
That is what is going on in here. That is what the trans genocide in this country, in this city, has brought me to. Imagine that! I hate this! I hate what you've done to us! I hate what you're doing to us! I hate you, Board of Supervisors!
Mental health was getting worse once they started the blocker. And that's against what the narrative tells us. The narrative says these interventions are supposed to make people better. We were pretty much putting anybody on testosterone at 13.5 if that's what they wanted. It was getting to the point where we were harming more patients that we were helping, just by the numbers.
Minnesota passed a trans refuge bill. Opponents say it would strip custody from non-consenting parents. What do I mean by that? If you do not go along with transitioning your child, medically transitioning that is, they will strip your child away from you. Take custody of your child. Friday evening, a law was passed saying that if Democrats actually supporting this bill said if you don't consent to cross-sex hormone prescriptions or sex change procedures, we will take your child from you. Since when does the government know more about our children than us parents? Since when? Since when is the government allowed to come in and take our custodial rights away from us, our parental rights away from us, if we don't do something to our children, or let our children do something that could change their life and the course of their life forever?
All of you who are surprised by the hate that the LGBT community has been receiving in the recent weeks, I want to ask you, why are you surprised? What did you think would happen when you decided to go after the kids? And then we told you to leave the kids alone and you just won't listen. So, surprise, surprise.
If you kill or remove any part of anybody's body, it will take as a crime. I think the government can play a big role in stopping FGM.
It is my honor today to welcome to the show former trans kid Chloe Cole. Do you remember the first time that you heard that word transgender or started to think, maybe that's me, maybe I identify as someone who's male?
It wasn't until I was about 11 and I started using social media that I started to learn more about it and start to kind of apply that information to myself and wonder about my identity and things like that.
We just kind of breezed right past it because I'd already seen it on YouTube.
I decided to come out to my parents after I got the gender dysphoria diagnosis. Okay. When somebody on my medical team had told them that they never presented any options other than transitioning.
Okay.
And
the doctors didn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah, and they never talked about what would happen if I were to regret my transition and go back on that decision. And they told them that if I wasn't affirmed in my identity and allowed to transition as I wanted, then I would be at risk of suicide. Mm-hmm. So they were pretty much coerced into allowing this to happen.
Okay.
We continue to pass bills without even the Republicans saying much on it, which is shameful, and that's coming from me, a Democrat. But we just keep passing bill after bill after bill, taking away parental rights and pushing the gender agenda.
Then it was at 15 that you had a double mastectomy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
The justification was that I had a male gender identity that didn't match with my body.
You needed to be walked through in great detail all of the issues that were relevant to you on the psychological and medical front, all the options that were available to you, and the pros and cons of all those options.
The problem with me starting it so young was not only that I couldn't consent, I couldn't really fathom the full picture of things. You know, I'll never be able to breastfeed. I'll never have that erogenous sensation in my chest back. I do hate to speak about it, but I'm experiencing sexual dysfunction at the age of 18. That's something that women usually go through when they're in their 40s to 50s. How is I supposed to know?
The physical effects of testosterone also started right away. I noticed it with my voice. My voice started deepening within maybe 6 weeks of being on testosterone. And that gave me that gender euphoria. You know, that gave me that high of feeling really good about my voice, that now when I go out and I introduce myself to people, I won't sound like a girl. I'll just sound like a boy, and that's exactly how I wanted to sound.
Did they give you consent forms for the testosterone? Like, did they list off all the potential side effects?
Yes, they did. So I had the informed consent with the nurse, and when she was going through everything that the testosterone could do, one of her comments was, if you've been watching this on YouTube, then you probably already know. She still went through the list the way that she was supposed to, but I just kind of breezed through it because I said, yep, I know that, I'm expecting it, I've seen it on YouTube, right. I'm all set with it. So I just signed off really quickly. And there was no more conversation to it than just that. And there were some things that we just breezed past that weren't really explained, like the higher cholesterol, things like that. The actual medical risks of being on testosterone as a woman, we just kind of breezed right past it because I'd already seen it on YouTube.
And it's okay to ask questions about something that's very new and involves children. The answer can't always be that anyone from a marginalized community is automatically right, trump card, mic drop, end of discussion. Because we're literally experimenting on children. Maybe that's why Sweden and Finland have stopped giving puberty blockers to kids. Because we just don't know much about the long-term effects. I don't understand parents who won't let their 9-year-old walk to the corner without a helmet, an EpiPen, and a GPS tracker. And God forbid their lips touch dairy, but... But hormone blockers and genital surgery, fine.